Today I'm doing a bit of an unboxing. I found this at Walmart, so let's check it out. Welcome back. I'm Kathryn, the Aerogarden Homesteader, and this is not an Aerogarden. This is actually an adorable little back to the roots aquaponics system that comes with 3 pods. I actually really like how these pods work because you can lock them in. So I don't know if you've ever used an Aerogarden and you've had a top heavy plant kind of slowly start leaning over. These lock in place, so that's really nice. But they are smaller than an Aerogarden pod. So if you break or lose these, you're screwed. I don't know if you can get replacements from these. You can get the little replacement sponges. They do sell packs of replacements. So you can get replacement sponges. These look pretty similar to the ones that come with the Aerogarden, so you could probably just buy the aftermarket ones. They lock in place. That's really nice. They come with little domes. There's 3 of them that fit. They're a little loose when they fit, but that's fine. And the Aerogarden domes will fit on these as well. And they do come with the stickers so that you can put on for shade. So that is the top deck. You obviously have a little spot for putting water in. Now I do notice that this deck is kind of hard to remove once it's in place because it sits in a recess, so you kind of have to open up the lid and reach in to get it out. But it's not too bad. Comes with food, does not come with seeds, but it does come with a rebate for buying your own seeds. So we're going to try some cilantro today. And just for the kiddos, or if you like them, there are stickers that you can put on. You've got the on the ground and in the sky, so you can decorate it. And just to let you know how high the light goes up, I thought it said 13 inches, but there is how high it goes up. It's not even in full focus, but that's pretty good. So looking at this and just giving my opinion right off the bat, I have not used this. This reminds me of the Sprout. It's about a similar size. It probably has a slightly bigger reservoir, which would be really nice, especially for 3 plants. But it's got the similar kind of, let me show you, similar kind of bubbler. So the water will just come up and then just sort of spill down. So this is not like the Harvest or the Bounty or the Farms where the water comes up into the deck and then just trickles down over the sponges. This is just going to move the water around and keep it aerated. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get some seeds in these. We're going to wet the sponges, we're going to put the seeds in, we're going to let the seeds germinate, then we will put water in this and get it going. Now, I believe that once this gets plugged in and turned on, it will just be on a 16-hour light cycle and the pump will come on. So we're going to have to wait for the seeds to germinate before we can actually plug this in. But once I get this plugged in and going, I will show you how everything is working on that, and we'll just give it a try and see how it goes. This is actually a smaller footprint than a Harvest, but a bigger footprint than a Sprout. So if you're kind of looking for that in-between, I feel like this is a good in-between size. If you're looking for an in-between size to have on your countertop or maybe on the corner of your desk, this is a perfect little size. I don't know if there's an easier way to get the light up, probably grabbing it from the back, but it goes up and down. There's a little resistance, so it's not going to just fall down on its own. So that's pretty good. And I don't know if you can see, but that's how low it is. It's about 4, maybe 5 inches. Probably 4. I don't have a tape measure, but that's what we're looking at. And then it just has a power button on the top, so you can turn the light off if you just need to have the light off. But it does say that the timer for the light will start when you plug it in. So if you plug it in at 7, it'll go off at 11. If you plug it in earlier, it goes off earlier. So you probably have to just, if you like it coming on early in the morning, you gotta plug it on early in the morning. So we will get this going and I will show you how everything goes. Okay, we're gonna put 3 seeds per thing, okay? So you gotta crack the seeds a little bit. So here, I'll crack it and give it to you, okay? And you put it in. To make sure you keep track of which ones you're putting in and how many you put. I cracked it. Just put it in. Here. 2, 3.
Is that enough to put in one?
That's enough for 1 for now. So that.
1.
There.
2. 3. 4. That's free for each.
I think that one needs one more, doesn't it? Here. There you go. Okay, put the domes on. Oh, actually, where are the stickers? So here, there's a little sticker on the back.
Oh yeah.
Here. There we go. I'll do the first one to show you, okay? So you gotta peel carefully all the way around, otherwise it'll rip the sticker, okay?
Yes.
And then I'm just going to very carefully put it on
Oh, I want
like that, okay? And then you put the dome on. Oops. Try to not spin it while you're... Okay, got it? Let me know if you need help getting the sticker started.
I wonder if I can use this side.
Careful on the end. Yeah, you gotta work your way... There you go. And then just make sure you center it over that brown thing. Make sure it goes on flat. There you go. So for our first run, we're just going to do cilantro. We put 3 seeds in each one and cracked the seeds. So each seed is a double seed, so there's potential to have 6 plants in each one, and we'll see how the garden does with that. The nice thing about this garden, actually, is that in the instructions it specifically says not to use any fertilizer for the first 2 weeks-ish, but to wait until the seedlings have germinated. So we are going to do that. We are going to wait until the seedlings germinate, and that's generally what I normally do. And we will give their plant food a try. They're little packets, and you just empty the entire contents of one plant food sachet through the watering and feeding lid on the front of your unit for specified feeding time. So basically they're saying every 2 weeks until maturity, and then you can decrease the amount of time to every week as needed. So what we are doing is we're going to do the same thing we always do with cilantro. We have wet the sponges. We're just going to put this in the unit. We're going to wait until germination happens. Then we will add water, and I will show you at that point how the pump runs and how the light looks and all that, because I don't want to plug it in until there's water in there because I don't want to burn out the pump. So we will have to probably see you back here in about 10 days because I think that's about how long it takes cilantro to grow. So we finally have some cilantro growth, so it was time to add water, and it took about almost 2 quarts of water, and this is how the filter works, a little bubbler, and I didn't even notice this, but it has a little ring that floats up to let you know where the water level is on the stick. So the top of the stick is green, bottom of the stick is red. It's quite nice. The light it's a little bit warmer than Aerogarden lights, but it's actually still a pretty bright light. And now that we have this all plugged in and ready to go, we can put the light down and make sure these seedlings get lots of light. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but we are having a little trouble with some of the seedlings not being able to push their roots down into the sponge. So I'm probably going to have to do a little bit of surgery on this one and tear it down the side just to get these 2 back in there. I also had one of the seedlings was stuck to the sticker here. So yeah, little issues, but you know what? I've sort of had seedlings stick to the stickers on the Aerogardens, which is kind of why I don't really care for the stickers, but sometimes the stickers are just necessary. Anyways, I'm going to get this one put back together again, and hopefully it will be fine. So it is time to feed. So this is what the little plant food tubes look like, and we're just going to snip the top off so that it's easier to pour it in. It's our first time trying this. There we go. Just pour it in. And away we go. Hopefully there won't be any dissolving issues. Okay, well I see it's all settled on the bottom, so I guess we will see how that goes. And I will put them on the same 2-week schedule as my other plants, the other Aerogardens. I am doing an update on the cilantro. And I don't know if you can see this, but the leaves have turned like a tint of yellow. I'm not sure if the fertilizer was too much for them, but they're not doing the greatest. So if you're gonna do cilantro, you might want to cut back on the amount of food to put in, but I mean, the garden is doing well. It's just that I think it was too much food for them. So I guess we will see. The stickers might be a bad idea as well. I think they're sticking to them. So I don't know if there's any way for me to get that off without incurring more damage, but We'll see. I am actually going to start another one with cilantro in it, and I will just use different food and see if that helps with the yellowing issue. So I want to wrap up this unboxing. We did have a little trouble with the cilantro not enjoying the nutrients, but that's not anything against the unit itself. That's more that I've found that herbs are really picky when it comes to the amount of food they get. So we didn't feed them on this second 2-week cycle, so hopefully the cilantro will do a little bit better. I will probably roll it into my feeding schedule with the master blend that I've been using. That way I can control the amount of food that goes in instead of just dumping in a little packet. Now, just for some of the details for this, because I didn't really go over them at the beginning, this does have 40 little lights up here, and it's supposed to be full spectrum. It didn't say how many watts it is, but it does say full spectrum. Now, I have noticed that it is not nearly as bright as the Aerogarden, so if you have found the Aerogardens in the past to be like way too bright, especially to put in like a bedroom or something, this one is a much warmer, lower level light, and it's really nice. The pump does run 5 minutes every hour, and the lights are on for 16 hours, but there is a button on the top, and we just turn it off at night when we want it to be off. And it just turns on again in the morning. It is geared for kids, and it does come with these cute stickers. It's more like a family STEM project if you wanted to do that, but there's no reason why adults can't use it either. It is an adorable little unit. I'm actually looking forward to putting one on the countertop so that we kind of have like a nightlight in the kitchen. But this one's for my kiddo, and they've been enjoying it, and they've had fun putting the stickers on, and just sort of playing with that and keeping an eye on their cilantro. It is now their cilantro. I'm apparently not allowed to use it. So if you have any more questions about this unit, just let me know. I will try to find a link and where it could be purchased, and I'll add that down below so that you can find it yourself. But yeah, I got a unit for myself, so I will hopefully get some of my own cilantro going, so it's my cilantro, and I will get that going, and I'm sure it will do a lot better because I will be able to control the nutrients more. So this is the back to the roots growing system, and it's an adorable little unit. I can't wait to put my own cilantro in it and have one going for myself. And here is how the cilantro is doing in the other unit. So I had some trouble with the sponges, so as you can see, I ended up moving over to cotton balls. I did end up using my master blend food for these as well. I found that the food, I find herbs are really sensitive to food. If I give them too much, they just don't like it. They shrivel and get like brown leaves, and they just don't grow very well. So you can see there's a little bit of crunchiness around the edges here. I did wait a little too long to give these some food, but they are growing really well. I have raised the light just a little bit. Light's pretty easy to raise, but it does require, sticking your hand on the deck and sticking your hand behind the light to pull up. It's a little awkward, but it's not bad. I didn't like the sponges. I tried 3 times to get cilantro to grow in the sponges, and it didn't work. I had like one lowly little sprout that it looked sickly. It's like the roots couldn't punch through the sponge and anchor themselves properly. So that's why I ended up doing the cotton wool. I found that the food, there's too much in the tube. So they're trying to do the same thing that Aerogarden is doing, and just it's a blanket statement for, oh, just give your plants this and it'll be fine. They weren't fine. As you saw earlier, the plants were just, they were kind of struggling a little bit. And they continued to struggle until I switched them over to the master blend food that I've been using for everything else. All in all, it's a great unit, but if you know what you're doing, it has a few little flaws. If you don't know what you're doing, you'd probably kill your plants and wonder what happened and then give up on it. So, it's not for beginners in a way. I think a lot of these units aren't really for beginners, but I think once you have used one and you have a little experience under your belt, use it again. Don't give up on the first try, because there's always going to be, you gave it too much food, or, the sponges weren't quite right, or something else was going on. So, yeah, this is a cute little unit. It fits wonderfully on my countertop. It doesn't take up too much space. It just tucks away. It's a really nice The light is dimmer than an Aerogarden light. It's a really nice night light, so, you know, it's not that really, I mean, I really like the bright lights from the Aerogarden, but, you know, in the morning and in the evening, sometimes it is nice to have that sort of warmer, lower temperature light, and this fits the bill for that. So if you have been sort of put off by the Aerogarden, you know, the brightness of the lights, this is a really good alternative. It is about the size of it's like between a Sprout and a Harvest. Size-wise, it's a little smaller than a Harvest, but reservoir-wise, it's a little bigger than a Sprout. But again, as you can see, it has 3 pods, so it has 3 plants for. I feel like that's almost the right size for this. I felt like, you know, if you did 2 in here, it would probably be perfect, but, you know, the layout isn't quite ideal. And I do like, I'm not a huge fan of how the port opens, but I do like that it's got the little floaty gauge on it, so it tells you if you're good or not, and as long as you keep the gauge in the green, you're fine. The pump does come on and off, so it's not running non-stop, which I also like. The light is easy to turn on and off. The button is just right there. It is a little hard to reset these, so, you know, we went through the end of daylight saving time, and I had to reset a bunch of Aerogardens. Some are easy, some are not so easy, and some of them, they're in a room by themselves. I just let them truck along in daylight saving time. These ones, you can't just unplug the unit from the wall and replug it. It's almost like the plug has a bit of a memory to it. You literally have to unplug it from the back of the unit and then plug it back in, which can be a little awkward. You know, I have it on my counter. I kind of have to move things out of the way to get to the back of the plug. Can't just reach around and unplug it easily. So from that point of view, you want to make sure you plug it in at the right time. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, it's a great unit. And here is how the rest of the gardens are going. So the celery is doing amazingly well. It is definitely a water hog, and once again, I will have to put the light up, but yeah, I'm still a little concerned about having 3 in here, but I guess we'll see, mostly because it has been a big water hog. I am giving this full strength feedings right now, and right now it looks really good. I am keeping a close eye on it because if any of the leaves start turning a little yellow, I will give it more food right away. I'll probably just keep bumping it up by 10 ml each time. But yeah, no, this looks a lot better than it did the last time I did it, or the first time I guess, to the point where I wonder if I could actually start harvesting some. This actually looks like a full stalk of celery. So I'll probably let it go a little longer before I start harvesting it, simply because I do have celery upstairs. Onto the lettuce, and I'm not really sure, maybe I'm underfeeding it. I do have some burning going on, and I don't know. This one has always looked a little funny compared to the other 2. This one's got a lot more burning than it used to have. This one looked pretty good, and this one looks pretty good. So I don't know what's going on. The conditions are, I mean, obviously this one's getting a little more air because it's closer to the fan, but they're getting the same amount of food, so I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what to say about this. It's still going. Even though this one's growing really weird, it's got the nice small leaves. So, I mean, it's really weird. This one's got a bunch of leaves going on at the bottom, but the big leaves look really nice. I should probably just harvest the big leaves and either give them to the chickens or just eat them, but I just haven't gotten around to it. You know, there's always something else that needs to get eaten. And then these ones, I don't know what to do about these ones. They have burning going on. Maybe they're not getting enough, but they are trying to form a head, so maybe it's like an iceberg type lettuce? A head lettuce? I don't know. But yeah, I did pick a whole bunch of small ones from the bottom that were kind of burning a lot more and just not really good for eating. Like this one here, I would pick this one. And I gave them to the chickens. The chickens really appreciated it, but maybe they need more food. Maybe I'm not giving them enough food now that they've got the fan blowing on them. So that's something to consider. Maybe I should give them more food next time and see if that maybe improves them. But yeah, it's just a learning game. And here is how the cilantro is looking. It is doing pretty good since I have fed it. I do have a little bit of crusting around the edges of the leaves, so maybe I didn't quite give it enough, but it is looking really good. I've raised the light a couple of times, so yeah, we're going to have some cilantro. I do still need to get some more going, so I can put it in the other Aerogarden downstairs, but yep, there we go. This is a great little unit, and it's working out pretty good with cilantro so far. And here's how the cilantro is doing in the first unit. I haven't really been updating this one, mostly because I have been focused on other things, but it has gone to seed several times, or I guess the plants, each plant has gone to seed. We've just knocked them down so far. But it's been doing pretty good. The stickers do lift up after a time. They restrict growth a bit, so. And then this one in the back was actually the one plant I managed to get to grow in the new pod from the other unit. Yeah, it's struggling because it's not getting enough light, but yeah, that's how it's doing. It's doing pretty good. We've gotten a couple of little harvests from this one plant. And here is how the pepper plant and tomato plants are doing. They are doing wonderful. They're still just sort of trucking along. I have slowly been harvesting peppers as needed. I probably just need to go through and check them all, make sure I don't have any wrinkly ones happening, you know, because they are hiding, and maybe freeze dry some. The tomato plant is doing better than expected. I didn't expect it to get this tall. I may have to prune the tops off of some of these, which is a shame because I got flowers way up here, but my fear is it will weigh them down, bend the branches, break. And I did have to tie in some extra trellising just to keep everything contained because, oh my goodness, it is just going everywhere. So the one down here is looking, yeah, it's growing. It doesn't look great. Like the bottom set of leaves look a little poorly, but I mean, it's still growing, it's still doing its thing. I need to raise the light, so it's probably just a little bit of transplant shock from the other garden. But we'll see. Hopefully it will happen. Otherwise, I guess I could always take a cutting from this one, root it, and put it in the other side. That's always an option. Anyways, I hope you found this video useful. I hope you enjoyed the unboxing of that Back to the Roots garden. I have some videos up at the end that you might enjoy, and I will see you next time on the Aerogarden Homestead.